Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to run meta ads in 2026. There's been a lot of changes since the Andromeda update. So if you're a small business owner, brand owner, or beginner, this video is for you. Before we get started, there are a few things that I want to make sure that we have established before we think about creating our first ad. The first thing that we need to do is create and or establish your brand. Make sure that we understand our brand. So this is a framework called Epic that was created by Meta, and I think it's really useful. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. So the E stands for existence. So what is your origin story? How did this business come to existence? And what problem did you face that prompted you to starting this business? P, purpose. What is the business or brand trying to accomplish? And what is the business doing and why? I is your identity. These are more like your visual elements. So such as your logo, color palettes, fonts, topography, images, and tone of voice. C is for connection. How does your business or brand communicate with its audience? I.e., what's your tone of voice, your communication medium? So, like, what social media platforms do you use? Vocabulary, jargon, and like many businesses create their own jargon so that people can, on the marketplace can identify their products versus their competitors, which is something that I really do recommend every brand or business do. Next is create an ICP. An ICP stands for your ideal customer profile, or if you're a brand, your ideal audience member profile. So demographics. So what is their age, location, income, occupation, family status, psychographics. So their fears. What keeps them up at night? Desires. What do they really want? Problems, as well as like what frustrates them and what problems are they facing in general in everyday life. And you want to create a persona. So you want to give them a name, pick an image from Google, or create an AI generated image just so you can get a visualization so you can visualize this person. And this allows you to define your tone of voice and make all your marketing efforts appeal to that specific person. Because if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. So next, after brand, we have offer creation. So your offer matters much more than your ad. So the truth about your offer is what you are selling. Your ad is just a delivery mechanism. A great ad with a weak offer leads to failure, but an okay or mid ad with a great offer tends to bring success regardless. So the goal is to make an offer so good that people feel stupid saying no. That's a quote from Alex Ramosi. The offer is the deal, the promise, and the thing that makes someone say or think that I need that. So offer creation. So this is the value equation by Alex Ramosi. As you can see in the top half, so your goal is to increase the top and then decrease the bottom. The top half of the equation is your dream outcome. So what is it that they really want? Not necessarily your product or service, but like what is the result they would like to achieve from using your product or service. Perceived likelihood of achievement is like, will it work for them? So you can increase this by having testimonials, reviews, guarantees, and proof. All these are good ways to make people think that they will achieve their goal much easier. Like this is the bottom half, you want to decrease this. So time delay, how long will it take to get the results? Generally, the faster the better. Effort and sacrifice. So how hard is it to get done and what will I have to sacrifice to achieve the goal? So this is from Alex Ramosi's book, $100 Million Offers. And the secret to getting a really good offer is most people trying to increase the top. But if you can really just decrease the bottom half, you will have a magnificent offer. And lastly is content creation. So there are two main types of content that you like to create. So value content and authenticity content. So value content. These are like tutorials or educational videos where you're teaching them something. Entertainment videos where you make someone feel good, relatable stories. The goal is to make people say, that's so me, or to find a connection within the story. Authenticity content, so behind the scenes content. This is generally used to humanize the brand. A personal story content is mainly to humanize the company. These are generally like from founders or for key members in the actual company or the brand. And like real moments, so not polished and real content. These are things such as like problems that the owner or an employee may be facing, struggles that the company may be facing, that just provide a bit of realism to the actual brand. But your content must be valuable because it has to attract your ICP and it establishes your brand and your trust. So you have to make sure you're creating really good content that follows your brand's guidelines. So next is like what makes content shareable or what makes content viral. So social currency. So your post should enhance the social status of the person who share it or make them feel or appear smart or ethical. So your post should also create triggers that should develop sensory triggers that remind people of your brand. Your post or content should also evoke emotion or have storytelling. So content with strong emotion is really much more likely to be shared, and storytelling in ads often invites audience participation, like the Dove's Real Beauty ad campaign series. So another thing that you can do with your content is repurpose your content. So this is normally turning existing content into new formats and new different mediums across different mediums. So you should generally target evergreen content like your how-tos and your educational videos. That kind of gives them more of a shelf life and allow them to last longer. But also you can take that how-to, say if it was a video, you can turn it into like an infographic. You can turn that also into like a carousel image ad. You can turn the how-to videos transcript maybe into like a blog post. So things just like that. Now that we have all of this established, we are ready to begin spending money on ads. When running ads, there are many terms that you need to be aware of and understand before spending your first dollar. So I went ahead and made the terminology cheat sheet for you that you can go into the description and follow along with. But we're going to go ahead and go through some of these quite. So CPM, what that means is cost per 1,000 impressions. So the typical benchmark is $5 to $15. CPC stands for cost per click. So what you pay for each click. CTR is your click-through rate. So the percentage of people who click through after seeing your ads, like clicked on your actual link. CPA is cost per action or cost per acquisition, or also known as cost per conversion, which is the amount of money you spent divided by the amount of conversion that you have. ROAS, which is return on ad spend, so the revenue per dollar spent. Reach is the unique amount of unique people who saw your ad. Impressions is the total times that your ad was displayed. People kind of confuse reach and impressions quite frequently. And frequency means the average amount of times each individual saw your ad. So this is terms for your campaign structure. So campaign is like the top level container. This is where you set your objectives, such as like you want sales, leads, traffic awareness, and etc. Ad set is the middle level, normally where people will set their budgets, targeting, placements, and their schedule. The ad itself is the bottom level. This is where your actual like creative, your copy, your image, your video, headlines, and CTAs all go. So if you hear the term CBO, that means campaign and budget optimization. Basically allows Meta to distribute your budget across your ad set automatically. And ABO, which is ad set budget optimization, where you kind of set your budget and choose where it's distributed. So these are just different terms for the audience. So a custom audience is people who you have already interacted with, such as like website visitors, people who already seen your website, or people that are already in your emailing list or your apps or your SMS contacts. Those are people that you can add to a custom audience. So lookalike audience is new people who are similar to your existing custom or your normal audience. A saved audience is an audience based on your demographics and interests that you choose, and you just save them under the audience tab. An Advantage Plus audience is Meta's AI powered targeting system. So it allows you to give it suggestions to find people, but Meta finds the people that it thinks is the best. And then broad targeting. This is really just where you put location only with no interest, no demographic, and let the AI just find the best customers for you. Optimization terms. So the learning phase, this is new to many people. It's been around for a while, but most people haven't run ads recently enough to remember. So the learning phase. So the first 50 conversions that you have, Meta is testing and seeing who responds the best. So your results are generally extremely unstable. for the first 50 conversions. Learning limited, that means you're not getting enough conversion to optimize, which is a sign that your budget's normally too low or the audience that you're targeting is really, really small. So pixel, that's just a bit of code on your website that tracks what the visitors do if they view a product, add something to cart, click on purchase, they just view your website at all. And CAPI, which means conversions API, this is just server-side tracking that works even when cookies are blocked. So a lot of the times people were struggling to really get data back from their Pixel, especially with the iOS, I think 14 update. So Conversions API is a way around that to still get all the information that you need. And then attribution. So it's how Meta credits the conversions on your ad. They have the 7-day click and the 1-day view. It's normally the default attribution. Now that you know the terms, we need to understand what Meta Andromeda is and how it affects us. In 2024, Meta released a new AI system that completely changes the way that ads are delivered. What that means is every time someone opens up Facebook or Instagram, Meta scans millions of ads to determine which specific ad to show to that exact person at that exact moment. The old system relies on you telling Facebook who you would like to target. For example, you would tell Facebook, show my ad to people who like fitness, for example. Andromeda figures it out from your creative. If you show it a video of someone experiencing back pain, then it goes out and finds someone experiencing back pain, regardless of whatever interest that they have decided to click in the past. This is why narrow targeting doesn't work anymore, and why everything that I'm about to show you is built off of broad targeting and strong creative. Since you now know what Andromeda is and what it means, we will now go to Facebook and begin setting up our accounts, as well as going through our pre-launch checklist. Okay, so now we're in our Facebook ads pre-launch checklist. So the step number 1 is creating a business manager account. So you will go to business.facebook.com and create a business manager account. So some of the keys to this would be first using a business email, not necessarily a personal. Unless you don't have a business email, then you can use a personal. Enter your legal business name exactly as it appears on the documents. You can do a doing business as well, your business address and etc. And you also really want to verify your business domain when it comes down. So in the future, when you come down to tracking, it'd be much easier. But as you go here, we end up going to metabusinesssuite.com. So since I already have an account, I won't go through the full thing, but I will show you. So naturally, you would go to get started, and it would be the same process as if you were going through and making a normal Facebook account. However, you're just entering your business details. And once you finish doing that, you will go ahead up here to press Start Now, and it will send you to your business Meta Business Suite. So here's an example of our Meta Business Suite, the profile we've actually just ended up creating. So once you log into the Meta Business Suite, you will want to go down here to settings. This is where you would like to assign yourself. So for instance, I've already assigned myself, but you would end up going to here to invite people, type in your email address, and then over assign it to your Facebook account profile, to your normal Facebook profile. So that way there you have access to everything that you need. Secondarily, what you will want to do is go down to pages. So if you don't have a business Facebook page already created, you can go here. Normally, you have to add an existing page. If you already have one, click on it. You would just type in your information, type the name of the page, and it would request access for it to be transferred to the business portfolio, and it would ask the owner of that page to actually do it. And if not, you go down here and create physical business new page. Also, I want to say again, once you're over here giving yourself access, make sure you give yourself full control and admin rights to yourself, as well as admin rights to the actual page itself. And if you have an Instagram account, please connect your Instagram account as well. So you go down here, Instagram account, press add, it'll go to add an Instagram and etc. But it must be a professional account, so a business account. But the next thing that you want to do after you've connected your Instagram, if you're going to run Instagram ads, go to ad account. Sorry. So your ad account, you want to create yourself an ad account. As you can see, I already have one. Facebook Meta limits you to 2 ad accounts per page. So please be careful not to overcreate them and or abuse them. And when you're creating your ad account, I truly recommend when they ask you for your payment type to please do not go with PayPal. Use a normal credit card or debit card. I've seen countless examples from people in different Reddit forums or just other agency owners who've used PayPal, and for some reason PayPal doesn't allow the payment to go through, and then Meta shuts them down and just flags their account, and then now they can't run any ads or get any new ad accounts or make any new pages that can run ads. So it's really, really, really important that you make sure you set yourself up for success with Meta, because they take their payments for ads very, very, very seriously. Okay, so after you set up your ad account, next thing you want to do, really important, go to your data sources. You want to go to data sets and pixels. You want to create yourself a pixel. As you can see, I've created multiple pixels, sadly one for this tutorial already. What you would do is you will go here, type add, type in the name for your pixel. For instance, we're going to go tutorial 2, press create. Give it a moment. You assign it to an ad account. For instance, bam. And you have to go to your events manager to actually go and update and edit the ad account. So we're gonna go through and walk through that really quickly. So I want to make sure I have everything together. So you go right here to tools and you go over to events manager. That's gonna put you over here. Now this is where you will also want to make sure you're setting up your conversions API. I have a full document going through all of this and how to actually do this. So I just want to make sure that you guys know. So most pixels, you click on your data set to set up your conversion API. I'm going to just show you an example of this. You go down to settings, scroll all the way down to conversions API. Now, they recommend you using the conversions API gateway. I recommend you using that, especially if you're like an e-commerce store or you have a website built on the platform where you can have custom integration. So what you would do, press get started. You can go through this if you want to, or you can see all conversions API gateways. They're different like partners. So like for instance, Shopify may have one, but generally you would go through this one, kind of finish clicking all of this and it'll probably do the steps. But I'm not going through that here because each individual conversions API setup is different. So there's different tutorials and videos how to do it based on where your business's website is held and where it's kept. So next, we're going to go through audience preparation. This is if you truly have an audience already. So if you already had data from people who's already going and you've already been going to your actual account, you ask for your sources. So this would be where you can create a custom audience. So people who already watched and viewed your website, people who download your app, maybe some customer lists, people offline, people who watched your videos, did your lead forms, etc. You would go here and create that custom audience. So yeah, if you want to go over here and create a lookalike audience, it's basically the same principle. You would just choose your audience source, the pixel or tutorial, create a new source if you wanted to, and you just have a percentage of how much you want them to look like your lookalike or that current audience. So the campaign structure that I want to teach you guys today is the One Campaign Structure by Charlie T. It's a relatively simple campaign structure that I think is really good for beginners to use and learn. So I wanted to go through this one. So starting off at the campaign level, you kind of want it to be a single objective. So if you're doing sales and leads, you do that and you use the campaign budget optimization rate. That's basically allowing a Meta to distribute your budget across the ad sets that are performing the easiest and the best. Second, we'll go down to the ad set level where you can create your control ad set. Simply, this means is all the best performing ads from the previous ad set that you have, and you have 2 other ad sets that you use to test and upload and add new creatives. Now, within the control ad set or the winners ad set, you want to normally have 4, 6 to 10 of your best performing ads running at all times, or running at one time. And within your testing ad set, what you would generally do is you would do the 3-2-2 method, which is his method. So basically you have 3 different creatives, videos or images, never like mix the two primary text, which is two full lines of copy, and then two separate headlines. Because with Meta's new Andromeda Advanced campaign and ad creative, it turns into 12 different combinations that you can test in the algorithm itself per ad set. So you also want to make sure you have broad targeting. So you only really want to have the age range of the customer, and if the gender is relevant, most likely not, and then your location. So if it's like United States for e-commerce, or if you're doing a specific area like a state, like North, South Carolina, Georgia, etc. But you want to use no interest and no lookalikes and no custom audiences. Okay, so now that we understand what the one campaign method is, we're going to go ahead and create our first. So they're going to be advertising as if we are a website design agency. So the first thing we're going to go for with the campaign objective is we talked about having one objective. We're going to go for leads. Leads is essentially where you want actually the business to call in for you. So we're going to go for, we're going to title it. Make sure you title your campaign something that you can always be organized with. So we're going to go website leads 1.0, different variations. So we're going to go with campaign budget optimization. We're going to start a daily budget. So at first, Meta gives you a maximum daily spend. As you can see, the maximum daily spend that I have currently is $43, and the weekly spend is $75. So we're going to leave it at $75 for now. A special ad category. This is strictly for businesses who are in like the financial sphere. If you're doing like insurance, if you're selling banking, credit cards, if you're like doing employment, so if you're advertising for job openings, or searching for like new certificate programs, housing, like real estate, rentals, mortgage loans, etc. And then social issues, which is like politics and like civil rights and political things like that. We're gonna go to next. Okay, so this is the ad set. This is where we talked about creating different ad sets. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go, and as if we have a landing page, we're going to go here to website. So ad set name, we have the one campaign with the two separate ad sets. So this ad set will be considered the winner's ad set. Now, with that being said, if you don't have any, actually, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do test first. If you don't have any ads running, then I would say first you should start off with test, and then, or you can make a winners category and assume which ads perform the best, but I would recommend actually going test first. You choose your goals. You want the maximum number of conversions for now. If you have your pixel loaded, you can choose all of your custom pixel events. Once your pixel is actually active, you can go through and do the following. Set up conversion, we can talk about that in a second. Remember, so now we're not necessarily doing any targeting anymore. So I'm going to leave it this way. New leads, so cost per result, no value rules, no attribution model standard. Again, we're going to leave the budget to be the exact same. It says dynamic creative. So when you click on that, it means you can now provide elements such as headlines and images, and they will automatically use to generate variation. So yes, we're going to turn this on for this specific ad set. For instance, for us, these are like the suggestions, the main suggestions that we're going to do. Oops, sorry. So suggestions, we're going to just go to locations, really. Demographics, browse. Wait, sorry, we don't want to advertise to anyone under 21. Age, that's cool. Genders, all genders, demographics, cool. You can scroll here to go through different demographics, as in like age and etc. I'm not necessarily going to do that, but yeah, we're gonna leave it here. Your location's up here, United States. So it says ad transparency, let your audience know who benefits and pays for ads in the ad set. You don't necessarily have to do this. You can, but you don't really have to. Placements, you can see, you can go here. I would recommend turning this off though. But I would say test this as you will. The advanced audience network. For this, if you want to use as much of Meta's AI as possible, then you would leave it on, but no problem. Cool. So since we're here, so next, after we go through all of this, you're going to see different types of things. We're going to be advertising on Facebook and Instagram. So next, we're going to ignore this for now because this doesn't matter for us because this is a sample. And if you go through the full steps on the pre-launch checklist and everything, you won't have to worry about any of this. But ads. Okay, we're gonna go to ads shopping. We're not doing any of that. We're gonna go with single image ads. You can have it to appear on multiple advertisers. I generally wouldn't do that. Okay, cool. So this is where we're gonna go through and add our creative. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna press upload. So we're gonna select all of these, continue. Cool. So once you do it with the dynamic creative, you only want to use the same type of ad. So if it's image ads, you do multiple of image ads, different variations of creative. If it's videos, you're going to do multiple videos. Never do videos and images because that would just mess up your results. So we're going to just switch that. As we were talking about 322, but with Andromeda, the more ads, the better, more creative, the better. So we can get more variations of test out. That goes for primary text and headline. Primary text, tell people what your ad's about. Headlines, your headline. Description is additional. So primary text is normally your copy. So we're going to go to over here. I wrote 3 different forms of copy. I want to make sure that you remember that your targeting is done now in your copywriting and is done inside of your actual your picture itself. So inside the creative. So with all the principles we talked about and the resources that I'm going to share in the description, please make sure that you're actually using these strategies to get the best copy for yourself. Okay, cool. Headlines. You want 3 headlines as well. Sorry, it's up here. So first headline. I tend to like doing them in documents or having them list out because at least I know that way it's easier for me to upload all of them. Or you put them in a spreadsheet. A lot of people put them in spreadsheets, but I rather myself I use documents a little easier. Spreadsheet's pretty easy too. As long as you're keeping up with them. Bam. So you can add a description to it. It won't really appear, but this information kind of helps Meta. We are a website development agency look sorry looking to provide people with the quality website. Actually looking to provide people with a website that captures attention, attracts customers, and converts eyeballs into sales. Something like that. Just so that Facebook knows exactly Sorry, just so that Facebook knows exactly who and what exactly you're selling to. Your website URL. So this is normally where you put your landing page. So with that being said, I'm going to just use my basic website for now. Bam, lemonade.com. Display link. Enter link to show on your ad. You can go. Okay, so your website URL. This is extremely important. So while you're doing your custom landing page URL, you could also add various different UTM links and tracking links. I can't necessarily go into detail about that in this video because that's going to require this whole separate entire, like its own video by itself. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments. I'll drop something down. I do have some documents within the Google Drive that can talk you through all of this already. Excuse me, but I wanted to so I wouldn't leave you guys hanging, but I wanted you guys to also see, excuse me, what exactly was going on. So now you go to your call to action. They have all of these. Learn more, yada 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 yada. Normally I go with like book now, like book a call, as you will see. Websites. These are like previews of your ads. And they have browser add-ons. This is another option. If they want to click on your website, they can just fill out a form. You would go creating a form here anyway by going here, typing out what information you want to receive from them, settings, and just, go and create a form. We already have a form, which is this one. You won't show, but it's basically this one. So it's just get your $500 website, and you set a little bit of copy on it. Price goes up to the XYZ, etc. So Meta recommends it. If you're trying to get people directly to your landing page, I would not recommend it. And then, yeah, so the only issue is our pixel is not active. And the reason why a pixel wouldn't be active is because if the website is connected to or you have it pointing to hasn't had any traffic in the last few days, but in a couple of days. But once you set up your pixel the correct way and you go back and check it just to make sure that your pixel is active, you won't have to worry about the screen. But yeah, so this here is the first campaign with this current asset. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back over here, account review, back here. So we have this in the same campaign. We're going to create a new ad set within this campaign. This is where the winners would be. Let's just say this, winners, bam. And the ads will be the same. So once you go to your campaign, you'll see the campaign, the winners in the test, and this is where you will graduate the winning test campaigns into this one using the post ID. I also have that fully listed out in the description over here. So if you go to this document, scroll down here. Sorry. Make sure I didn't overdo it. But yeah, you scroll down here, ads, right here. So you will add the winning ones using their post ID so they're not duplicated. I linked the video here to finding the correct post ID, so that way you will actually see how to do it. Because in this current tutorial, we don't necessarily have the post ID, but I can also make another video on that subject for you if that's what you deem necessary, or if that's what you want to see. So just let me know in the comments if that's something that you guys will want to see. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I thank you for watching.